Hello, everybody. My name is Caesar.
And I'm Martha.
And welcome back to the 27th episode, another spooky edition of Inner Wider Screen, where
two idiots who know nothing about movies talk about movies.
Martha, can you name the 2 days starting with T besides Tuesday and Thursday?
The 2 days starting with T besides Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
Today and tomorrow.
All right. Martha, what movie? Figured that was me, an easy one. I was like, let's just try it.
I'm sorry, I'm too smart for you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Well, like you can see back here, we are back for Spooky Edition. You were already also in costume mode too a little bit for this one, so that's nice.
A little bit. Yeah, see, neck. Because, yeah.
Right.
And
one wrist.
I have one wrist, not the other.
You just don't have the other wrist.
I don't have arm, so yeah.
Nice. Well, we're excited to keep this going. At least for this past week though, like, have you been up to anything? Watch any movies or TV?
Well, I did finally get around to watching Squid Game. Oh my god, I binge watched it in like 2 days. Well, that's technically not true.
So you finished the whole thing?
Yeah, I finished the whole thing.
Okay.
So I had started watching it and I got 15 minutes into it. And then I had to go do something, so I didn't get a chance to continue watching it. And I didn't get a chance to finish that first episode for like over a week. And then finally I got back to it. And I was able to watch like the rest of it in like 2 days because I could not stop watching it.
You were
It was
hooked,
so
yeah.
good. Oh god, it's so good. Have you seen it yet?
I've only watched I watched the first episode last night, actually.
Okay.
But I loved it. I'm like really into it now. I'm looking forward to finishing it soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I love Korean art. Like it's just in general, it's just so good.
Television, Korean movies. Oh, it's good.
And I know we're watching it the proper way, Korean with the subtitles. I can't fathom people. Obviously, that's everyone's personal preference, but I cannot understand watching in English.
I don't like it.
I didn't try it, but I just don't. Mine defaulted luckily to Korean, but
when I first started watching Korean television, I first started out with like the dubbed versions, and like 5 minutes in I was like, absolutely not, I cannot do this, I will learn how to read. And I could not do it. It was too painful to watch.
Yeah, I'm definitely, in terms of live action foreign movies or TV, I'm definitely on the sub. But if I'm watching animated like Studio Ghibli movies or stuff, I'm fine with the dubbed version.
Yeah,
it works differently for me. But it's just when it's live action and you have the actors there, it does not. No.
It does not translate well at all. Although I feel like I actually saw an article today that like Squid Game, a lot of the subtitles were actually really off, and I didn't go further into the article. Probably should have if I was going to bring it up, but I mean, I can imagine that.
I mean, it wouldn't be entirely surprising. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know how big of a change, if like it would like make a huge difference on like the plot. I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you still understood what was happening in the story and with the characters and everything, I'm sure it was fine. I've only watched the first episode, and actually that's pretty much all I watched this week because I had a busy week. I was at ACL this past weekend.
Yeah.
So much fun.
Fun.
Who did I see? I saw Doja Cat, Billie Eilish, George Strait, Tyler, the Creator. Greta Van Fleet was a lot of fun too, actually.
Oh, I would love.
I did see Bleachers do Roller Coaster for a little bit.
Aww,
so
that's nice.
I didn't get to see their whole set, but what I did see, they were really fun. I saw some other people too. I did not see Machine Gun Kelly. I don't like that guy.
Oh, darn!
Yeah,
you missed it.
My ACL was ruined. No, we actually watched from like halfway back of the park, booed, and then turned around and saw Bleachers. So that was kind of our plan, and I feel good about it. But no, I was looking at how I keep track of my movies. I didn't watch a single one. So except Orphan, I watched Orphan again.
Except Orphan, yeah, we did watch Orphan. This was my first time watching it, so
yeah,
really enjoyed it.
You were texting me. You were like, "I'm watching Orphan, and like this is my heart rate."
Okay, literally. So I was watching, and I normally don't move during a movie. I just sit still because I'm watching a movie, and my watch pulled up like a message that was like, "Hey, you haven't moved in like 10 minutes and your heart rate is through the roof. Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I am not."
The movie can do that to you for sure. So as you've not been able to tell, we are talking about Orphan today for the second part of our Halloween spooky special this month. Just talk about Orphan real quick. It is directed by John Colette Sarah. So you're actually I think you're gonna be surprised at this guy's filmography. Check this out. Before this, directed House of Wax. After this, directed Nonstop, that movie of Liam Neeson on the plane.
Okay.
Yeah. He did The Shallows. He did The Commuter, the Liam Neeson movie on a train.
Okay.
And he did Jungle Cruise.
Stop putting him on like things that move.
He also did Jungle Cruise.
Okay.
That just came out.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good. I don't think it's on Disney Plus yet for free.
No.
But once it is, I would definitely check it out. I had a lot of fun with that. And then his next movie is gonna be Black Adam, which is a DC movie, and I think The Rock is the lead in that movie. He's Black Adam. Don't know anything about the character. Yeah. I think The Rock is charming, but The Rock is not an orphan. Can you imagine if The Rock was an orphan? That'd be pretty funny.
That would change the movie.
It would change the movie entirely. Like, especially if you play Esther, I think that would be.
That'd be hilarious. This just a little girl. Look up this giant man. Yeah, I think he would have fit the role
perfectly. Starring Vera Farmiga, Peter Sarsgaard, Isabel Furman, CCH Pounder, and Jimmy Bennett. Released July 24th, 2009. $20 million budget. And made about $78 million worldwide. But like you were saying, this was your first time. Did you... have you heard about this movie? I mean, this came out in 2009, so we were pretty young when it came out. So, did you know about it at the time, or?
So, from my memory, I don't think I necessarily recall watching, a preview for this movie. So, and, I think I've, known that it existed. I just didn't know too much about it. I had my assumptions about it, but I wasn't, 100% sure if those were, accurate or not. It really sounded familiar, but overall I really knew nothing about it. After watching the movie, of course, I was like, okay, so this is exactly the movie that I think it is.
Okay.
So I guess I was right in my assumptions. But I mean, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was a really fun movie. Well, this was my second time watching. I watched it, I think, last year at some point during the pandemic. I was watching Marie had you never seen it? I was like, oh no. Basically, my only memory of this movie was I remember when Blockbuster was around. I miss it so much. And I remember quite a few times going throughout the aisles, and I would see the cover for this movie on the shelves and being so freaked out by it. Because look at this. Her face is creepy. So creepy, and then she has the basically what you have around your neck.
Yeah.
And I just I don't know what that is. I don't want to deal with it. I was 9 years old. I was like, don't. When I
first saw the cover, it got me thinking about that one children's story, or maybe it's not a children's story, but it's a story about the lady. Street. Yeah, that one. Mm-hmm. No, where she had a ribbon tied around her neck all the time, and the reason behind it was because her neck or her head would roll off her body. Oh. Maybe that wasn't a children's story. I just had a screwed up childhood.
Was that from one of those scary stories, Tell in the Dark books or something?
Was it?
I could be wrong.
I did enjoy those
books because I remember those books too. Those books were those were kind of the. Well, no, the children's scary books were Goosebumps, but I feel the next step up was those scary story ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have them anymore. But yeah.
I know. I used to have a bunch of Goosebumps books, and I don't know where they are now.
I know. The only children's books I still own from my childhood are Nancy Drew, and that was because I was obsessed with Nancy Drew. And when I was little, I wanted to be a detective.
So did you idolize Emma Roberts in the Nancy Drew movie?
I watched it once and I said, "Wow, this is bad." Anyway,
yeah,
and I moved on with my life. I felt that I portrayed a better Nancy Drew than she ever did. So
that's fair. That's fair.
And this was coming from a child me, so like, come on.
You're right. Come on. That's not.
I know.
Anyway, we're not talking about Nancy Drew today or Goosebumps but it's part of the Halloween spooky theme. Anyway,
Yes.
so getting into this movie, the first opening scene is like she's in the hospital, Vera Farmiga. There's a lot of lights shining through. She's about to give birth. There's a lot happening. She's walking through, starts dripping blood.
Everyone in this hospital already is giving me the heebie-jeebies. I'm not liking the vibe here. All right. And then as it goes on, I'm like, Jesus, childbirth is terrifying. And then it turned into a nightmare scene. And then I was like, oh, childbirth is terrifying.
Terrible. Yeah.
So,
it turned crazy real fast with her starting to scream, and then the way the baby was pulled out with the blood cover. And it's a dream. It's a dream. It gives us an early indication that she's definitely had past
some trauma
dealing with pregnancy. Yeah. And we see that too as she talks to her therapist. So a little development to start the movie. We're introduced to her daughter. She's deaf, which I think adds an interesting component to the movie. And then as soon as they introduce her daughter, she almost gets her killed in a car crash. Like almost gets hit by the truck. We're like, yay. And I don't know, just seeing all that happen early on, especially like those things happening, the way the color looks in this movie, there's like no color. It's like kind of all just flat, like
very
flat as
very flat, faded. It just again just adds to the creepiness
of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just literally the whole movie. It's just like not there from the beginning. Then you see the little boy Daniel. So he doesn't really have the closeness with his mom like the little girl does, Max.
Yeah. And it's very clear from the start of that there's definitely some issues there within the with the relationship between him and his mom, which hopefully gets resolved in the end. We don't really get to see a big resolution of that.
That's kind of,
I feel like
that is true.
Weird.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, obviously we'll get into it at the end, but the way things ended kind of felt abrupt a little bit.
Very abrupt. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah,
there was but I thought the interactions, at least early on, between Max and her mom were sweet. Like, you can tell that she genuinely has that connection with one of her children. And then, like, I thought that scene where they're both kind of, like the scene where they're talking about her unborn daughter, like just showing how they're both like processing that in the storybook. I thought that was sweet. And it also sets up why they would look for another daughter to adopt, and why, when they find Esther, I guess why she would appeal to them.
Yeah.
At first, even though it was a terrible decision.
I don't get the appeal is the thing, because I feel like the polite children are always the creepiest ones.
Oh, no, same here. I get why they would think she's a good idea. I wouldn't. I would have left her. I would have left her ass.
No. There. Children are supposed to be little terrors. And that's how you know that they're not broken.
That's fair.
The polite ones, something went wrong.
Something went wrong in the process there. So
you gotta be careful. Yeah.
But as we learn throughout the movie, I mean, they all end up being pretty stupid. So it would make sense why they thought it was a good idea. Even with that. Especially the father. Which we see him go talk to that demon child, and I'm like, get the hell away from her. Of course he doesn't. And she's talking, she's like, I guess I'm different. No shit. And how
different.
I'm just different. And then she's talking about how, and then the sister Abigail's talking about how she's mature for her age. She never wants to take off her ribbons. Like, the only time they ever have trouble with her at the orphanage is when they try to take them off. Like, bro, like, what do you think?
Come on now.
Like,
it's on your, come on.
Yeah, which I mean, I understand it more on rewatch, but obviously if it's your first time watching it, like, it might seem a little more minuscule. Like,
I definitely caught on to that immediately.
But I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't. I probably didn't.
Maybe that's just me assuming the worst of everything all the time.
I think that works out for you when you watch these movies. It's just assuming the worst, and the worst is usually what ends up happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's about fair. I liked how early on they made Danny out to be like the evil little jealous brother. Even though in reality, I mean, he was right all along about this girl, but the judgments he made about her had nothing to do with that except his jealousy. Like he just wanted attention. Yeah. Like when he's playing Guitar Hero and like he's like, look, Dad, like I'm doing this. Like and he's like, oh cool, you're doing.
He feels kind of left out. Yeah. And then there's that one scene where he's outside and he's playing with the paintball gun.
Oh, the paintball. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the paintball gun. And then he ends up shooting the bird. And I was like, great. Now there's 2 sociopaths in the family. That's wonderful.
At least after he started crying and regretting it. But it's like...
It's so, yeah, he showed remorse at least.
At least he showed remorse. Then
at that point, he still thinks Esther is just kind of like, she's weird and like, I don't like her. And then she's like, well, now you have to kill the bird. And he's like, but I don't want to kill the bird. And she's like, fine, I'll do it. And grabs a rock.
He's like, put it out of its misery. Boom.
And then he's like, oh, okay, something's wrong with her. Like and then he starts getting nervous.
Yes, because she seemed to enjoy ending that bird's life a little too much. Like she got a lot of satisfaction out of that.
Yeah, there's a bit of a tell there.
Yeah.
But they still don't quite catch on. You notice how every interaction she has with a child, by the end of it, they're terrified of her.
Oh yeah.
And no one picks up on it.
No. Nobody in this movie picks up on a damn thing except Kate.
That's true.
And I guess Max, but Max is like a child, so it'd be understandable, and she's deaf. So it'd be understandable if there's things she can pick up. But she picks on more than the adults around her life. Let's just like...
That's true. Yeah, but she doesn't pick up on it entirely at first. At first, she sort of becomes sort of like her ally because she treats her really well as like her new sister. And like she learned sign language for her and all this stuff. And she tries to grow... She does a really good job growing that bond with Max at the beginning.
Yeah, which is all a part of her plan, like intentionally.
Which, yeah, you later on see it's all part of her plan.
Like she literally like exploits it later on.
Very much so. Yeah. But which eventually we end up seeing. I don't know if I'm jumping too far ahead here, but eventually she's starting to pick up. The mom is starting to pick up more and more. Something's a little bit off with this child.
Yeah.
Actually, one thing we did skip was that one of the girls who is bullying at the school. Yeah, she bullies her, and then she sees the look on her face, and she's like, "Well, I've screwed up."
Like
so, and she's this immediate regret in her face, and they're at the park, and yeah, that teaches you not to bully because
that's the ultimate bullying lesson. Yeah.
Yeah. She pushes her off the slide, breaks her leg. Yeah. So that, bullying bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when it's a little psychopath that you're dealing with.
Right. I mean, it's like even before that, because I feel like that was kind of the major event that started kind of triggering like her doubts and at the time like what seemed like paranoia. Yeah. But before that, even like the fact that she kept wanting her door locked, and she's like, we don't lock doors in this house and blah, blah, blah. But she's just hiding her old woman shit. Then they're trying to take the ribbon off in school.
Her old woman. Isn't she like third? Spoiler.
Oh,
spoilers ahead.
Hey, she's not old, but older than what she's portraying herself to be.
Yeah. But yeah, so she starts picking up on that stuff. Well, eventually,
a bit of one more thing that we forgot. The first kind of little thing that they was like, was when they were doing it, the husband and wife in the kitchen, and she just shows right up there. And
I know.
And then she's trying to give her a speech about grown-ups, they express some ways to love each other, blah blah blah. Yeah, I know they fuck.
Yeah, she's just straight out about it. Which, like, you stupid parents, you have a house full of children in the middle of the house. You don't bother to check if the children are asleep first,
or just go to your bedroom and lock the door,
or just go to your damn bedroom. Nope, right there.
No, right there, out in the open. You don't think one of the kids is gonna come down for like a midnight snack or something?
I mean,
I would do that all the time. I would come down to grab some popcorn or a banana. I don't know. Fruit snacks, Pop-Tart. I'm just kind of hungry right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know. I'm kind of really hungry too. So let's wrap this up. Okay?
Let's wrap this up. Okay. No.
But yeah. So clearly, parents are idiots, first of all, but that is one of the first tells that's very like, okay, so like what kind of upbringing has she had? Because clearly
she ain't like these kids. She ain't
not
like all these
very
other
innocent.
kids. No, not at all.
So there's so that's kind of like their first tell, and then the incident with the slide happens, and the little girl that she pushes off, and then some of these like worries start to get a little bit more confirmed when the nun, the sister, what's her face? She shows
Sister
back
Abigail
up.
is her name.
Abigail is her name, and she's like, "Hey, so listen, I was doing a little research, and it turns out she a little cray-cray, but like possibly, because she's like, so it just so happens that everywhere something bad happens,
She's right there.
she's right there. You know, some kid goes running with scissors and ends up stabbing himself. She's right there.
There.
Her old foster home burned down to the ground with everyone in it. She was right there, and she escapes. So it's all just very, very convenient that,
Right.
like, every time something bad happens, she's right there.
Right, and then you have Kate looking at that like, oh, piecing the dots together. The husband, well,
He's like,
Idiot.
it's a child.
it's a
She can't do
child.
it."
She can't.
He's-
She's not. She's too innocent. She's only 9 years
Which-
old.
Like, I get it, though, because she does a very good job of playing the both of them and making it, like, Kate.
Playing everybody out.
Well, she
yeah.
does a good job playing everybody, but him and
Particularly, yeah.
especially like she really drives them apart, and like that is her main goal, is to drive them apart by
Yeah.
making her seem like she's a terrible person and she's gone crazy, and like she's an innocent girl, she's an innocent little girl, and that her daddy's gonna take care of her. So it's very clear that he is refusing to see all of these connections and all of these things that have
Yeah.
happened. Kate, on the other hand, is like, yep, it was her. I 100% believe it.
Yeah, like
There
right
was
from
no
the
doubt
beginning.
in my mind.
Because even another thing that Kate found alarming was like she was offering to teach her how to play piano, and she like was like messing up, and then she comes back and she's playing perfectly like this song, and she's like,
Yeah.
"You lied about playing the piano," like just all these little things she's lying
Yeah.
about, and
Just
like
constantly, and just like her little remarks that she makes towards her and everything. So it's
Yeah.
just very,
And like you said, she's
Ooh.
just manipulating everyone around her, like the parents, like Max. She's manipulating like her deafness, taking advantage of that too. And then she found the gun, pulled that thing
Yeah.
out, and knew
which we're skipping over a very important part.
What do we skip?
After Sister Agatha comes to tell them about the whole deal. Oh wait, no, just kidding. I was getting that wrong. She does find the gun first.
Oh no, this is yeah. This is coming up. I was like, there's no way I would have skipped over that.
Okay, yeah.
Just making sure.
Continue. Yeah.
So yeah, then I feel like then there's a few shots of the way she's holding the gun and Max looking terrified, like in the
Oh
process.
yeah, she's like Russian roulette. Let's play it.
yeah, it's just
Just
like
pointing
this
the gun at her head.
character is so unpredictable and unsettling, and it's like, just like what the fuck. And I will say,
know.
Isabel Fuhrman plays Esther here. She's like really good at playing like how
Crazy.
off and crazy this
Yeah.
what ends up being a woman
Just a
is,
very-
but like
Very unsettling person.
Yeah.
In general,
I thought
she
she
does
was-
a very good job doing that for
Yeah.
sure.
And we especially see more of that in her performance when the shit goes real crazy. Basically sacrifices Max to
Yeah,
stop the
she's
nun from
like-
driving, and then goes out and kills her with a hammer.
Yep, she
Right
oh
in
god,
front of her.
all of us like, and Max was like, "You tricked me. This
Yeah.
wasn't the plan. Like
yeah.
you weren't gonna kill me. Like try
Yeah.
and kill me."
You weren't going to kill anyone. Like, what are we doing here?
I know, like, yeah, you weren't gonna kill anyone. Was not the plan. You were just gonna like scare her away because she convinced her that, hey, like, I'm just a great sister to you,
Like,
and
they're
if
coming to
this
get me.
nun
Yeah.
comes back, you know, she's gonna take me away. So we have to go and scare her. And so she's like, okay, yeah, let's go and scare her. But yeah, and then, ends up murdering her and then is like scaring her even more. And it's like, well, if you tell anyone, you're just as much to blame as I am because you helped me hide the body. So you're going to jail too. And she's a little girl, so she doesn't know any better. So she's like, okay, I'll just won't tell anyone anything.
And then little Danny sees them hiding the evidence in the treehouse, and Esther sees that, goes up to him when he's sleeping, and he's like, I'll cut your hairless little prick off before you even figure out what it's for.
Which, iconic.
It's a great line.
Iconic line.
It's funny.
Still not
I'm
great.
This demon child's making me laugh. But I'm like, ooh.
I know. I did chuckle a bit watching that scene. But yeah, just like now she's definitely made it clear to both her siblings that she cray and that she's not someone to be messed with.
Right.
Because she will kill you.
But she's still fooling these parents.
One of them, at least.
One of them. Because then they go on to, okay, this is all weird. Let's just take her to the therapist. Like, let's see what she has to say. Clearly does not know shit. I would not go to this therapist. Absolutely not. This would make me want to stop going to therapy. And I just, after they talk to her, basically, she sits down and talks to the parents about her impressions of her. And I love how they edited between how, like, precious and like misunderstood and innocent like Esther is, and then just her flipping her shit in the bathroom.
She's just going crazy, and it's just back and forth between those two scenes, and I just think that was perfect. It was amazing. I really enjoyed that. I loved that, how it just like transitioned back and forth between
definitely.
that. So that was a nice little touch there.
For sure. We're just learning more about this character, and then this is, I mean, at this point, like, Kate's just really like, okay, like, this is not working. So she starts doing her research. She's definitely character disturbed individual, as they point out. And then here came one of my main issues with the characters in this, which we kind of touched on this when they were like doing it in the kitchen. Like, do they not understand that when they're talking about all this stuff in the middle of the house that she's not going to come over hear them?
She's right there. These people are just so stupid.
Leave your house. If you want to go talk about her or do anything with some kind of privacy, leave your home.
Go to a nice lunch.
Go to Starbucks or something.
Starbucks, maybe.
Coffee.
And be like, hey, so, this coffee's delicious. Yum. So our child is a psychopath. So
what are we going to do about it? Right. That's a conversation you can have somewhere else, not in your home.
At a Starbucks for sure.
Right. Yeah, perfect
but
at
not
a Starbucks.
At home.
I'd get me a iced white chocolate mocha. That'd be nice. I get decaf because I can't handle the caffeine. It's too much for me. My body rejects that.
And with maybe a conversation like my child is a psychopath. Yeah.
Yes, that's the perfect setting for it. I would do that. I'll keep that in mind. And then they find out there's no record of her in that Russian orphanage that she was originally from. No shit, there's no record. Then later on, she's dropping off the kids at school, and she's asking them, like, has Esther, like, done anything to, like, hurt you or, like, make you uncomfortable or, like, to threaten you or anything? And they look fucking terrified as they're saying
like, no. And then it's like, do you not see the fear in their eyes? Like, this little girl is on the verge of tears when you ask her about this girl. Clearly, there's something wrong. This is your opportunity to take the kids and run. Like, okay, you know what?
Or in this case, drive, because she was in the car driving. Yeah.
And drive away with the children and just, go into a safe place and hide the children away from this demon child that has these murderous tendencies and is a little cray-cray. So, and actually, there was this one scene that I was like, okay, so like things started like, I started putting things together as like the different scenes came apart. Yeah. So there was the one scene where she was like talking to the dad and how it's like, well, I keep trying with mommy, but she just doesn't want to like to love me the same as like her other kids. And he's like, why don't you do a big gesture for her?
Yeah, that was my next note.
She goes and she cuts the roses that are like supposed to represent their baby that they lost. And she's like, look what I did for you, mommy. And she's like, what the hell?
What the hell did you just do?
She loses it, rightfully so, because she went, like, the first thing she showed her in that house was the roses and, like, told her the meaning behind it and everything.
She knew, like, the meaning. She knew all of that.
Exactly.
And played it off too, like crying, like acting all emotional about it.
And then she's like, my arm, and like scatters away.
Yeah.
And then the bitch goes in and breaks her arm by herself in the middle of the night to like really sell it that the mom hurt her and broke her arm because she was so mad.
Yeah.
And at this point, I was like, okay, this girl is a little too obsessed with her daddy.
Yes.
And things started it started making more sense as they went along. And
so what was your thought process after that was happening?
Because already I was like, all right, in the back of my head, I was like, chances are this little girl is not really a little girl. And then the more she just got really close to the dad, and then on top of that, it was like she didn't want to go to the dentist. Which, like, a dentist, like, if you look at their teeth, you can tell how old someone is.
I forgot about that, actually.
So it's like, so clearly,
I forgot about
not a little girl.
I forgot about that scene. That's a good, I remember that now, yeah.
So just, like, all these little things that I'm like, all right, I think I know who this person is, and it's not a little girl. So,
yeah,
it's not a child.
Right. And then, on top of that, then the dad's just the biggest idiot in the world. And she's literally taking advantage of how naive he is. And I mean, now she's gotten him to do what she set him out to do, is to pick her over his wife. Mm-hmm. And then Kate's losing it for the first time in a long time. So she mentions at the beginning of the movie with her therapist, like, I drove past like the liquor store. Like, I didn't go in. Like, I just looked at it. Like, I wanted to go in, but I didn't. Now she goes in. She gets the wine from the store. But she dumps it out. She doesn't drink it.
Yeah, she gets 2 bottles of wine. One of them she pours in, and she's like, I can't do it, because there's a backstory there with her drinking. So clearly she's had issues with drinking in the past, and because of her drinking, something had happened to her kids. Which at this point we still don't know the full story about it.
We don't know the full story yet.
But. Yeah. At this, so she's kind of like really she's going through it, and she's like, I really, really, really need this drink, but also I should not have this drink. So she pours it out, and she hides the other bottle.
Yes, which does come up later.
Which does end up coming up later.
But the next crazy shit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to talk about the car going backwards.
Yeah. Okay. So, again... She's killing one of what I thought was an ally at first, but now she's just too scared to like do anything against her.
And
because she was willing to help her at the beginning because she thought, oh, this is a nice sister, but then she goes and tries to kill the little sister Max a second time. Mm-hmm. So clearly she pulled a move where she cut the backpack of Danny. So as he was like walking up, all his books fell. So the mom was like, oh, here, let me help you. Yeah. She gets out of the car. Esther decides, let me put that shit in reverse. Or in neutral, I suppose.
She was in neutral. And then lets the brake go. And
down it goes. Down the hill it goes with all the cars coming towards it. It can very much hit it at any point. And you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This poor little girl. And she's just so scared. And
it's just like, it's all kind of freaking the moment, because then there's a shot like in the car. The camera's kind of like going around the cars. It's going backwards. Yeah. She looks fucking like just terrified. Like, And then, of course, the stupid dad and the stupid freaking therapist think it's all her fault, that she's in denial, that she's a drunk because they found the other bottle.
They found, of all people, Esther is the one that found the bottle.
Right. So, like, she, at this point, has, like, perfectly exploited, like, all the problems that this family has had, and she's used all that to her advantage perfectly.
And the mom just looks really, really bad. She looks like she's gone back to drinking. Now she's abused the child. And now she is negligent with her other child by letting her be in the car alone, and while she didn't even park the car correctly. All of this is just stacking up to make her look so bad. Mm-hmm. but it's not. Like, it's not the truth. It's all Esther just setting this up for her. So she does a really good job of setting the mom up.
So really, and then the only other ones who really know what's happening is the kids. They go to talk about it and figure out a plan. And of course, Esther is right outside the freaking door listening to them talk about it.
Of course she is.
Of course she is.
They didn't go to that Starbucks like I told them to.
No, they didn't go to the Starbucks. It's stupid.
Yeah.
She, I mean, she literally has all the power over her. Like, she goes into the room. She found her diary, like, explaining everything that happened in the past. And that's how we find out the full story of what happened.
Yeah, that's how she's able to, like, set her up with, like, you finding the bottle and everything. Is because the stupid mom is journaling everything. So it's
keeping a record of your,
Come on now.
I would have just thrown that away as soon as,
Yeah.
So it's fully revealed now that because she was drunk in the past, Max almost died in that pond, and John had to go save her, the husband.
Yes. Yeah, because she was passed out.
She was passed out drunk, right.
Couldn't get to the baby.
It explains, it doesn't justify this because they're still stupid, but it explains a little more why they're so hesitant to believe her in this situation.
Yeah,
But they're still stupid. They're still freaking stupid.
They are still very stupid and not, like, picking up on all the other cues that it's like, ever since she was brought into this house, bad things have happened.
Like, did you not listen to what they said earlier? Right, the nun
literally told them, if there's something bad happening, she's there. Is this not, it's not connecting for you? Like, come on now.
Absolutely not.
So,
And just in case it doesn't connect with them yet, Danny goes in the treehouse, finds, like, the evidence from the nun.
No, not yet, because first he goes to talk to his sister, who...
Well, that's what I was saying. Max. Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. They were talking to each other.
Well, before they had gotten to the treehouse. So I just
in a room. Yeah.
I love that Max has documented everything that she has done. Like, she's, like, drawn out every image of her, like, pushing off the child from the slide.
Yeah.
And killing the nun and hiding the evidence in the treehouse. And when he sees that, which she's deaf. Which is, like, a major part of this character. She can only hear just a little bit, like, not very much, and he's screaming in the room, "Hey, are you okay? Is this girl scaring you? Wait, what's this in the treehouse? We should go check in there. Okay."
When he didn't have to, he could have just signed to her.
Screaming in the room, and I'm like,
Esther hears him, like, oh, I can't believe she did.
You must have your father's genes because you're an idiot.
Yeah. Literally, the two smartest people in this family are the women. Like,
honestly,
because the men in this family are idiots.
They got no brains. So
no, warrants for brains.
So he basically reveals his plan of, like, trying to find the evidence, and I think his main goal is to, like, expose her a little and try and save his sister.
But of course, you can't leave him to do such a task because.
No, of course not. Because then when he does go to enact his plan of going to the treehouse, who's behind the door? Esther, of course.
He's right there.
Because she heard the whole plan already.
Yeah.
It's just, if you didn't yell out everything, you would have been fine. But there she is, and she's like, "What do you think you're doing?" No, sir. No. This is my evidence. And we're burning it
all down. Because if someone finds this evidence, if this evidence is discovered, you know who's going down? Your sister. Because she was there all along with me.
The whole time.
So you know what? We're burning the evidence down. And the whole treehouse with you in it too. Goes down, locks the door.
And he's trying to escape. Which, like, once again, you have your daddy's genes because you are just so stupid. Why would you climb higher up? There was a window that you most definitely could have swung onto another branch and climbed your way down. But no, he chose to go on top of the treehouse that is burning to the ground. So, eventually he does fall out of the treehouse. And he hurts himself very badly. To the point where he can't even talk or move. He's just laying on the ground. And Esther comes a little full circle moment with the bird earlier that he tried to kill. And she's like, "Don't worry, it won't hurt." And he's about to smash his head in.
Didn't she say something about going to heaven or something?
Yeah, I think I think she
something
said
like that. It was some funny line. I don't remember what it was, but
yeah. So, but luckily, the sister comes in and like pushes her out of the way and is like, "No, it's my brother."
Yeah, like stop. We're done.
Like you can't kill him. So at this point, she's very done with it all. She's like, I'm not helping this crazy person anymore. Trying killing my brother.
Right. And while all this is happening, it's Kate doing her research and finding out that SAR, whatever the name is, Institute. Which why would you read that institute and think it's an orphanage? I don't understand. Like institution.
That kind of gives you
right.
Gives you
so she's from a mental hospital. That's where she came from. Not an orphanage. So it's like, okay, was her mom there? Did she give birth to her there? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you should
so
know what's
she's
going
trying
on,
to.
But okay.
Yeah, she ends up like sending them pictures of her and is like explaining the whole situation. And they're like, no, this is a mental hospital. There shouldn't be any children here. And she's like, okay, fine. Like, get back to me as soon as you can with any information you have.
So that's all we got right now. Later on.
And so she ends up finding the treehouse on fire. And her son is on the ground. So she's like, oh, my God. And she's like, she gets them to the hospital. So thank God for that. And when they ask, like, will he be able to say who did this? And the doctor's like, yeah, probably once he wakes up. And so Esther's like, well, that's not good. I must finish him off now.
I must make sure he does not wake up.
Yes. So she puts him right back to sleep.
Yes. Because for some reason, they're still trusting of her when they show up to this hospital. Like, she's like, Grandma, can I have $1 for the soda machine? She's like, your mom told you to stay right here. Go ahead. Go for it.
Keep in mind, the grandmother
is the mother of John.
The mother of the father. So what does that tell you?
The genes. There you go.
The genes. It's all in the genes. These idiots. She's like, sure, I'm going to be a good grandma. No, you're not a good grandma. Okay? For one, letting the child off go to the through the hospital, which she was there when she was on the phone with like the SARS Institute and she's like figuring all this out. So like she's overhearing all of this stuff, but it still is not clicking for this lady that's like, maybe I shouldn't let her go wherever she wants. Well, she lets her go anyway. And Max, being one of the only smart people in this family, is like, something tells me she's not really going to the soda machine.
Right.
So she goes to follow her, and sure enough, she's not at the soda machine. She's off trying to kill the brother.
Right. Yeah.
So she runs back to her mom because she's like, okay, I'm not going to be able to take her by myself. So she tries to get her mom's attention to save the brother. And I'm like, yes, queen, go save your brother. She still smothers him with a pillow. So, yeah, so that's...
yeah, so he goes into cardiac arrest,
yes.
And Kate sees this, and she just knows. She just knows it's Esther.
She knows
and she goes,
Esther.
What did you do, you bitch? Smacks the shit out of her. And I'm like...
I loved it. Yes, queen. Yes. It's like what we all were waiting for. We just wanted to see it.
We just want to see it happen.
Smack the little girl.
For real.
So, yeah. So like, once again, she does not look good because she's just harmed a child in the middle of the hospital. So they have to sedate her and, keep her on her own. Yeah. Well, eventually she does wake up in her own hospital bed now because they've had to, chill her out.
Restrain her. Yeah.
Yeah. So, John explains to her, like, he's okay, but I think you need to stay here and spend the night and, again, chill out.
Yeah, chill out.
Because,
I'll go take
again,
the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, at this point, he still thinks that she's the crazy one. So he takes the two girls home and then she gets a little crazy. A little extra crazy.
A little bit. So first... they're saying goodnight to Max. She steals Max's hearing aids. And of course, the dumbass father doesn't see that happen. And then, she dresses up in Kate's clothes. Like, she tears him up and, like,
tears him up, makes her look, and does her whole makeup and does this whole thing.
She looks ridiculous. Like,
She looks terrifying.
Terrifying. Even scarier, honestly, with the makeup on.
Honestly, she looks scarier with the makeup on.
You're
So
right. Yeah. And then she tries to seduce John. It's gross to watch, but it's also...
How drunk is he that he is like... Because they only had one bottle of wine
He drank
in the
the whole
house.
So I'm assuming he drank the whole bottle. That's what they made it seem like. Because remember, she bought two. And she poured that one out, and they had that one that she hid. So I'm assuming he just drank the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm realizing people can get drunk off of one bottle of wine, just not in my family.
No, it's not
one bottle of wine's like drinking water in my family.
You have to remember, this is a white family.
You're right.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So I guess one bottle of wine gets you to where you can't even see straight, and you look as blurry as my background. Because the camera's just like going like all zoom, all blurry, and yeah. So she's trying to seduce him, and he's like, no, stop it. No, stop it. It's not really, still not really clicking for him that like what she's really trying to do here. And then eventually she's like, okay, wait a minute. No,
get away from me. Go to your room. No.
Yeah. And so he's like, I think like, he's like, okay, I'm starting to realize that maybe my wife isn't crazy and that this little girl is crazy. So he's like, we're going to have to figure out what to do with you tomorrow because I don't know how well you fit into this family right now.
Basically, he's like, we need to get you the fuck out. Like,
basically.
Took him this long to realize it, but he came to the realization.
Eventually, yeah. One bottle of wine and one mental breakdown in front of a child later, he eventually comes to the realization. Right. Something's wrong.
So Kate.
So yes. So back to Kate.
She's in the hospital.
Still in the hospital. Receives a call from that Scars Institute, saying like, "Hey, you're in serious danger right now."
Like, is she with you right now? She's like, no, she's at like she's with my husband and the kids. Call your family, get them the hell out the house, and call the cops because this is what's going on. And
because she is not a little girl, she is a grown adult.
Well, the bitch is 33 years old.
She is a little cray cray.
Right. The reason why she looks like a child, she has a hormonal disorder. This woman is violent. And she's fucking gonna kill you all. Like, she's her history.
She's done this several times.
She's done this before.
Where she's entered into a family, tried to seduce the husband, get rid of the wife, and when it fails, that the husband is like, no, because you're portraying yourself as a child. So any sane and normal man would be like, no, you're a child, get away. Like, it's so obviously she's gonna get turned down. So when she gets turned down, she gets angry, and she gets stabby, and she gets murdering.
Yes, she goes stabby, right?
She goes stabby. So this is a reoccurring problem. It's happened before in the past. So he's like warning her, and she's like, okay, I gotta get home right now, and she's just driving. Like she is in Fast and the Furious,
beating her ass all the way home.
She has most definitely caused several traffic accidents.
Oh yeah. Well, first John also found all those drawings in her room with the lights off. A lot of violence, a lot of sexuals.
Yeah, is it clicking for you, John? Is it making sense now that maybe she's not who she says she is?
Well, basically, once that all clicks for him, and once Kate's on the way home, she gets home, and Esther by that time has already killed her husband. Stabbed the shit out of him.
So John's dead.
With no mercy.
Can't say I didn't see it coming. If you're in a scary movie, don't be an idiot.
That's
you
fair.
get stabby.
You get stabby by the 33-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
Which I will say, with the way they reveal that she's 33, like taking off her like fake teeth, hers it's so ugly.
It was
like
so
I will
creepy,
say the actor, like she really plays it well in that moment to like transform that physical transformation. On top of that,
because she still has like the makeup on and she's like crying, so like the mascara is running all over her face and just like everything about it, and she's like so angry, and it's just so creepy.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's good stuff.
Some good stuff right there. Yeah.
Right. So Max is hiding now, and and now they're all just kind of chasing each other around the house, basically. Like Esther's trying to find Max, and then Kate's trying to find Esther, and blah 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 blah. So after all that, Max is hiding in the greenhouse. She sees that Esther's going in there, so Kate somehow crashes through the greenhouse, lands right on top of Esther, thinking
Splat.
It's over. They think it's over. Ain't gonna be.
It ain't over till it's over.
Which I think they did a good job playing this part in the movie, because I don't know, a common thing with a lot of movies, especially horror movies, you hear the sirens coming, you hear the cops coming, okay, you feel a sense of security.
Resolution.
Breath of fresh air.
No. Because here's the thing. I think Kate was hanging around with her husband too much, and she got the stupid genes. If there was someone who's trying to harm you, you don't just, slam them into the ground and be like, all right, that seems good enough. I think they're dead. And then just leave. And then go hide into the woods of all places.
It's like when the husband died, like some of his genes kind of floated out and like went into her brain or something.
Into her because clearly she is not thinking straight. No. You do not go into the woods when there is someone trying to murder you. That's the stupidest idea you could ever think of. Run to a neighbor's house.
Go to the pond where your daughter almost died because you were passed out.
Go. Yeah,
makes sense.
That seems like a great idea.
Yeah,
wonderful idea. Best idea you've had. So, surprise, surprise, Esther's not dead.
Yeah, her body's gone and she's ran away. So then, like we said, they go back to the same pond, coming full circle with the events that happened in her past. Max, she found the gun, right? And then somehow she got the gun.
Yeah, Max is like, spots the gun and she's like, all right, now I got to do what I got to do. I already got enough trauma to last a lifetime.
There we go.
Let's just top it off right here with the gun. So right now, the mom and Esther are going at it on top of the lake, the frozen lake. And so Max is like, pew. And she shoots the ice, which breaks around them and plummets them into the icy cold water.
I cannot imagine how cold that water is.
Nice full circle moment.
Right.
But nope, Esther is still fighting for her life and trying to get out. Eventually, Kate manages to get out of the water.
Even though she was stabbed by Esther, right?
Yeah, she was stabbed.
Yeah. But Kate somehow managed to get an elbow in. You think that's it?
That's gotta be it. Nope, still not dead.
Not quite. Because Esther then starts grabbing her leg, trying to pull her in. Do you know the quote for this? It's great. I don't remember.
What did she say?
She basically was like, please don't let me die, mommy. Or like, please save me, mommy.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, she called her mommy or something like that. And she was like,
I'm not
die,
your
bitch.
fucking mommy.
Exactly. And just
kicks her ass.
Boom, kicks her in the face.
Queen.
And like, oh, that was great.
And you're like, okay. Now it finally seems like it's over. The Esther demon is gone. But then the movie ends right there too.
And then it ends. So it's like, did she really die in the water? Did she make it out again?
So
like, did Kate make it? Did the brother make it?
Yeah. No, processing that her husband died. No, there's no resolution there, which,
nope.
I'm not too mad at it, but
it works. I think it works fine. Worked. Yeah.
The movie's 2 hours. I think,
Yeah, I don't think there was
really a need for it. But also, too, I was reading that there was an alternate scene on the DVD, and basically that left more room up to her, like, surviving, is from what I understand.
Well, actually, doing research, I think I didn't do too much digging into it, but I came across something that made it look like there was going to be an Orphan 2. Actually, just kidding.
No. I was actually going to bring that up right now. They are working on it's a prequel called Orphan First Kill. It's actually already finished shooting.
Okay.
And it stars Isabel Fuhrman again. She's reprising her role as Esther. However, she is 24 years old now.
Yeah, she is not a child anymore.
She's not like a child anymore. However,
she's an adult.
The filmmakers did say they were going to use a combination of makeup and forced perspective shots, which basically are shots to sort of create illusions to make something look smaller, or things like that.
Yeah,
and also they used
Hagrid.
Sure, and link it back to Harry Potter somehow. And they also used child actors as body doubles. So I figure, especially with technology we have today, maybe they'll work it out. Is it going to look probably all that great? Maybe not, but I'm looking forward to it.
We'll see. Yeah,
I
it'll still be
like the
interesting.
idea of a prequel much more than a sequel, because I think seeing her origin from going from that mental hospital to
That
the US,
first family that
that
she
first
killed.
family. Yeah, I think that'd be,
Or whatever family it was that she decided
yeah.
to
I think it'd be
stabby.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it could be cool.
Yeah.
We'll see. Right now it has no release date, but it is already filmed, so maybe it'll come out sometime next year or something. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of the first Orphan, I mean, that's it. Another note I forgot about: Leonardo DiCaprio was a producer on this movie.
What?
Yes.
That makes what?
Yeah. You know, I love Leo, and I like this movie a lot, but I don't really understand what drew him
It
to
does
this
not make
project.
sense.
It's not a fit for me, but somehow
Yeah.
he was attached to it.
Okay. I mean, it ended up okay. So I mean, as long as you didn't screw it up.
I'm like, hey, you did a good job producing this one, man.
Yeah.
I guess so. But yeah, so being that this was your first watch after all that craziness happened with your heart rate going up, what were your thoughts on Orphan?
When it ended, I said, "Well, holy shit," because what? Like
Yeah.
it was just it was, and it was all very fast paced at the very end of it. I think
It did happen, yeah.
so. It was all so. It just explains my heart rate like shooting through.
Yeah.
Because it was just like one thing after the other. But I think overall, like I think it was just really interesting to watch. I was able to predict everything that happens in the movie and like figure out the ending pretty quick. But I still think that the story is interesting in itself enough to where like even if you know what's gonna happen, you're still hooked and you still want to watch it.
Right.
So I don't think it was like it was an effective twist. I think at the end.
Yeah.
Again,
I honestly didn't really see it coming much. I kind of not even like. I wasn't even really trying to predict what the twist would be. I kind of was just like watching it and letting it see what would happen. So when it did happen, I was like, it's pretty freaking crazy, and I'm all for it.
I still really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the main takeaway here is that children are scary and you should stay away from them.
You know what's interesting about your takeaway though? Adoption groups saw this movie and were worried about the message, like the movie being perceived as sort of like an anti-adoption kind of thing. So then on the DVD, the Warner Brothers, they were like, they put like an adoption like PSA, like please, like, yeah. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, I guess I can see why they would think that.
I've always thought maybe one day I would adopt, and then I watched this and I was like, okay, I'm a little off-putting, but it's fine because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch, what is that one movie called? I love this movie with
Matilda?
Rose Byrne.
Oh no, Instant Family.
Instant Family.
I was just thinking of a
love
girl.
that
Wasn't
movie.
Matilda adopted or something? But no, she was adopted at the end of the movie.
She was
right?
adopted at the end of the movie from a family who was still her family.
Yeah.
Which is like, I need to rewatch that movie because maybe I didn't get that quite right. But like,
I kind of need to
if
rewatch
that's
it.
the case, did
I
they
don't
just?
honestly, I don't
They're
even
just
remember.
yeah. You could take her. It's fine. We don't want her anymore.
Anyway, I mean that movie's really fun. I want to watch it again. But
Yeah.
no, Instant Family. That's the definitely like pro adoption movie out there.
So definitely, so if you're watching this movie and you're already thinking about adopting, definitely watch Instant Family afterwards, and then it'll be like, you know what, I'm definitely going to do it because that's so cute.
If you want both sides of the adoption perspective, if you're looking for you to adopt, watch Orphan and then Instant Family. You can make up your mind from there.
Both words.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You get both sides.
You make that choice after.
That choice.
But children are scary, nonetheless.
They can
no
be,
matter where they
yes.
come from. So,
So I think this did for you in terms of adoption what Gone Girl did for you in terms of relationships.
yes.
Like you're not gonna look, you don't want one.
Yeah, everything's scary. The world is scary.
The world is
gonna
just a
live in
scary
a bubble.
place. Perfect.
I'm gonna live under a rock for the rest of
Right.
my life.
That's
So
fine.
if you need me, I'll
Sounds
be
good. Thank you.
under
Right.
a rock.
Thank you, Patrick.
So,
yes. I really enjoyed this movie. You know, I would say some just quick like faults. I would say like there are quite a few like false jump scares in this that I was just kind of like, okay, you don't really need those. Like I feel like
Yeah.
the tension in the movie I thought was already kind of pretty decent. Like I didn't really think you needed those.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talked about how dumb these characters are, which it does create for some it does create for more entertainment. I will say that, but
That is for sure.
you just wish they were a little smarter sometimes. I don't know, like
Yeah,
it's kind of a
that's
nitpick
for
sometimes.
Where you're just like yelling at the TV, like, you idiot.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, I mean, I think overall it's just a fun horror movie. I think the twist works well. I think Vera Farmiga, like she's definitely we've seen her in a lot of horror movies, like all the Conjuring movies and that kind of stuff. So really like her in this.
She does a great job.
And then the kid in this too. I mean, she's great, freaking scary. So I'm really curious to see how she'll do in the prequel. Yes. No, but yeah, I had a good time with this. Definitely an entertaining movie. I really not looking much more than that. I think also too the dark humor in this was a lot of fun too.
Yeah, there was good dark humor.
I'm glad this doesn't take itself like seriously. You know what I mean? Like I think that was another thing I really enjoyed. So, yeah. Did you have any final thoughts, or did you want to get into our scores?
Go ahead and get into scores.
Okay. The school. Right. Let's go. So, what are you gonna give Orphan?
I will give this movie a 7 out of 10.
Cheers, bud.
Oh, I can't grab my mug.
It's
Cheers.
Okay. I'm almost out of water, but it's fine. Now, this is a very high 7 for me too. Yeah, definitely a rewatchable movie too. So, had a good time.
I won't say
Orphan.
this is like my favorite scary movie now, but I still really, really enjoyed it, and it definitely will be a rewatch for me.
Definitely entertaining. I can
October.
imagine too watching this with a group of people would be fun too. Like I would have loved to see this in the theater when it came out, but I was only 9 years old. Anyway,
we'll do a watch party for this one, and when the second one comes out.
Oh yeah. Oh, when the next one comes out, we're definitely all gonna go see it. It's gonna be very fun. Actually, speaking of that, did you catch the new Scream trailer that came out this morning?
Oh, I saw people tweeting about it and everything, and I was gonna listen to it. Problem was, I was at school all day, and I forgot my headphones at home, which I was very upset about. I forgot my headphones, so I didn't have a chance. Like I was in public spaces all day, so I didn't get a chance to like be able to like listen to it. But I saw like parts of it, but I didn't want to watch the whole thing without like sound, so I'm like waiting to watch it for later.
Well, I'm so freaking excited for it, and it's coming out in January, which is really soon. Yeah, I love the Scream movies, even the ones that aren't very good. I think they're all so much fun.
They're still so good.
They're still so much fun.
I love them.
I love them all. Yeah, I can't wait. So we're definitely gotta be a watch party thing. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yes,
but
for sure.
Anywho, that will wrap up our discussion on Orphan. Next week is still October, so we still have some more spooky time left to go. What's up?
I have one more note about Orphan that I completely forgot. So the children's names in the movie Orphan are Max and Danny. Mm-hmm. And you know who else are named Max and Danny? The kids in Hocus Pocus.
Because that's our next movie.
So next week we're watching Hocus Pocus.
Did you confirm that? Did you confirm that?
I did confirm. They are named Max and Danny.
That was very good. That was a really good transition. I like that. That was good.
Thank you. Did that myself.
So as you said, we are watching the Halloween classic Hocus Pocus. It is streaming on Disney Plus right now. So if you want to rewatch it, or if you have not seen it, check it out there. It's gonna be a fun one to talk about for sure. The acclaimed director Kenny Ortega.
Love that man.
Love his man
with my heart and soul. It's the impact that he had in my childhood, and it didn't even end there. It continues to this day.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into that when we talk about Hocus Pocus. We still got a week. It's all good.
I'm so excited.
I know.
I've already seen this movie several times.
You've already watched it multiple times throughout spooky season.
In the past 2 months. So I'm so excited.
It's
I'm so ready.
All good. All right. Well, on that note, check us out on all audio streaming platforms. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes. Wherever you listen to your stuff. We're also on YouTube. You want to see this? You want to see this really creepy background? YouTube, In a Wider Screen Podcast. Please subscribe to our channel, like, comment, do all that good stuff. Little gas, it's fine. And then social medias, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Follow us on there. We'll keep up to date on our newest post. I don't think I posted last week's because I was busy.
Yeah, and I kept looking and I was like, I should tweet something. And then I kept forgetting to tweet something.
We have our off weeks, but I'm back home now, so we'll do that. Yeah, all good now. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, for listening. We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate all the listeners. Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. And I love you, each and every one of you.
That's so sweet. Me too. Not you, but the listeners.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. All right, well, until next time.
Bye.